Catwoman number 3, written by Judd Winnick, art by Gillum March. We last left off with Catwoman getting a huge score against some mafia guys, coming home to finding her friend Lola has been killed by a gangster named Bone, and being beaten up real bad by his goons. This issue picks up with a flashback to actually before Catwoman, back when she was just a petty thief without any sort of name. She's talking to Lola and basically saying how she stole a bunch of stuff from the police gala. And Lola tells her, like, look, yes, this is a good haul, and yes, I will fence anything that you bring me, but keep yourself safe. Like, you don't have to take all these risks. Someone is going to get hurt. And then we cut back to pretty much where we left off. Catwoman is duct taped to a chair. Bone is standing over her, basically monologuing. And there's this look on Catwoman's face, somewhere between just pure rage and desperation and anger. And she's just staring down at Lola's body. Bone, the whole time, he's just going through basically his life story. He's like, oh, I grew up in group homes and I wasn't able to have things because, you know, they were always taken from me. But once I managed to grow out of it and I managed to make a name for myself, I made a pledge to myself that I would have the finer things in life. I collected jewelry and art and coins, and it made me feel good. That's what I wanted. But instead, you showed up and you stole all my crap. So, like, if this were drugs or money or like territory or whatever, I could understand that. But you stole my stuff. So then he motions down to Lola's corpse, and it's like, your little friend here told us how to decrypt her books saying who she sold all of my stuff to. So now I have to go through this book and go visit all the customers and get my things back. But I'm going to make sure that you do not live to see the end of the night. So he walks out the door, leaving Catwoman to his goons. Catwoman is still just teary-eyed with tears and blood running down her face, staring at Lola's corpse, when one of them throws a punch, knocks her backwards in the chair. And in that moment, I guess the chair like loosens up or breaks a little bit, so she's able to snap her legs, still duct taped to the wood, but snap the legs of the chair off, and gets a grip on the one of the goons, grabs his gun, holds it to his head, and is like, all right, tell me where your boss went. And they're like, you're not going to shoot us. She unloads 2 shots in the kneecaps of 2 of the goons and was like, all right, cool, so now you know I'm going to fire. So tell me where your boss went, or I'm not putting a bullet in your head, as she lowers the gun down towards his crotch. And that's a convincing enough argument for him to say how he's at this building called the Moffat Building. It's a skyscraper, and there's a club on top of the 40th story for just the high rollers. So we see Bone is there, he's getting a lap dance, and as he's making googly eyes at some of the strippers, Catwoman climbs on top of this glass roof and just unloads gunshots inwards, just shattering it all on him. She grabs onto Bone, throws him outside to the top of this skyscraper, mind you, and Bone's like, all right, okay, maybe I got a bit too emotional. Sorry about your lady friend, but I can give you money. I can give you anything you want. Just make sure I, live. And Catwoman reaches into this bag she has and pulls out a baseball bat. And she's like, do you think you're the only one who grew up in a bad place? Like, I grew up in group homes. I know what you're talking about. And this whole time, she's just beating him with this bat mercilessly. And she's like, you're right. If this were over drugs, money, or territory, I can understand that. But it wasn't. You killed her over stupid, useless things. And as he's completely just bloodied and brutally beaten up here, she's about to kick him over the edge of the skyscraper. And that's when Batman shows up. And she's like, all right, that's enough. You're done. And she's like, you have no idea what he took from me. I'm going to feel better once I do this. And she's like, you won't. You will not feel better. And if you do this, I am not going to be able to forgive you. So Catwoman, teary-eyed, drops the bat, walks over to Batman, and gives him a kiss. And as they're embracing, she uses her whip to give that last little nudge to knock Bone off the edge of the skyscraper. So Batman has to run after and save his life because he's not going to let anyone die. Where Catwoman makes her escape in that moment and just essentially finally breaks down. She crawls up in the field position and realizes that what Batman said last time was someone was going to get killed because of her antics, and now someone has. So she goes back to Lola's apartment and she starts burning all of her books. She did everything old school. She didn't really have anything computerized. So she starts burning all of the evidence against Lola, claiming that it's to preserve her good name, but she knows deep down that it's just so she can stay safe herself. And then she gets to the photos of Lola and herself, and she's like, cops are going to know this is a homicide, and if they see my picture, they're going to be investigating me, and I can't have that. So she has to burn all of the photos that she took with her friend. And then finally, once she's done with all that, she walks over to Lola's corpse, tearfully gives a goodbye and how she's so sorry. And she's so wrapped up in that she doesn't even hear the footsteps outside the door, who she assumes is Batman coming in once more. But as she turns around, it's the police. The police have been called, and they see Catwoman standing over the deceased body, burning evidence right near to it, and she realizes that she is in deep. I really, really like this. I cannot, like, I know people are hit or miss on whether or not they like Gilliam March. Like, his art is great for some people, terrible for others. But the emotion that is shown on Catwoman's face throughout this issue, from just the bottled up rage in the first scene to when she's beating him with the baseball bat, just letting it all loose. Like, she has actually glowing red eyes here, and it's done in a very good manner. To the tearful goodbye, not 2 pages later, all close-ups, all looks very good. I love this. This is fantastic. And the writing, the pathos of it, it really lets us know where Catwoman's line is and, like, what line she's willing to cross when she gets emotional like that. No, I definitely enjoyed it. I wrote down on my paper here a 7, but just talking through it, I'm willing to bump that up to an 8, honestly. It's really is a fantastic issue, and I genuinely didn't expect that from Catwoman, especially considering the first issue, but it's growing, and it's growing fast, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.